In the dazzling glow of San Francisco's tech gala, a single mother's voice silenced a room of tech titans. Maya Johnson, once a discarded housekeeper, stood radiant, her triplet sons at her side, their eyes blazing with unyielding truth. 15 years ago, Ethan Caldwell, a Silicon Valley mogul, cast her out, pregnant with his heirs, to shield his pristine empire. Tonight, her words sliced through the glittering crowd, exposing his betrayal with surgical precision. Cameras flashed as her sons, now brilliant prodigies, revealed their identities. Tying Maya's meteoric rise to Horizon Innovations, a $15 billion AI empire, to their father's shame. Ethan's face drained of color, his legacy crumbling under the weight of her story. Broadcast live to millions. The chandeliers seemed to dim as the audience gasped, their applause erupting like thunder. This wasn't just a speech, it was a reckoning. A seismic shift in Silicon Valley's power structure, trending globally within minutes. Maya's journey from rejection to triumph proved no betrayal could extinguish a determined spirit. Where are you watching from? What time is it? Hit subscribe and dive into a saga where a mother's courage topples a titan, where resilience rewrites history. Share this story with someone who needs inspiration, and let's begin a tale that echoes far beyond these gilded walls, a testament to the power of rising above. Ethan Caldwell's suspicion burned like a smoldering ember as he paced the polished marble floors of his Pacific Heights mansion. The San Francisco skyline shimmering faintly through rain-streaked windows. As CEO of Caldwell Tech, a Silicon Valley colossus valued at $20 billion, he thrived on control. His life a meticulous orchestration of power and prestige. But the missing emerald cufflinks, a cherished heirloom from his father, gnawed at his composure, a crack in his perfect world. His housekeeper, Maya Johnson, was the obvious suspect. Her quiet efficiency, her Oakland roots, her unassuming presence made her an easy target for his mistrust. She moved through his mansion like a ghost, unnoticed yet essential, her existence barely registering in his elite orbit. Ethan's arrogance pinned a theft on her, his mind conjuring a narrative of betrayal to justify his suspicion. That November evening, as rain lashed the city, he slid into his Bentley, its sleek frame cutting through the drizzle, and followed Maya's battered sedan across the Bay Bridge. His pulse quickened, not with guilt, but with the thrill of catching her in the act. The gritty streets of Oakland were a jarring contrast to his world of glass towers and tailored suits, the divide between their lives stark and unforgiving. He parked in a shadowed alley, the rain muffling his footsteps as he watched Maya enter a weathered apartment building, its peeling paint and cracked windows a testament to neglect. Through a flickering street lamp's glow, he glimpsed her silhouette inside. 3 identical boys, 3-year-olds with a sharp jawline, ran to her, their laughter slicing through the night like a blade. Ethan's breath caught, his accusation of theft dissolving like mist in the rain. These weren't just her sons, they were his. The realization crashed over him, a tidal wave shattering his carefully constructed reality. Their voices, pure and unguarded, clashed with his calculated existence, a world of boardrooms, mergers, and relentless ambition. Maya, unaware of his gaze, knelt to kiss their foreheads, her shoulders heavy with exhaustion, her hands trembling as she tucked them into bed. Her face, illuminated by a dim bulb, bore the weight of a life Ethan had never bothered to understand. His mind reeled. How had she kept this secret? Years ago, he dismissed her as a fleeting distraction, a scholarship girl unfit for his elite circle. Now, the boys' resemblance was undeniable, their existence a silent indictment of his hubris. He gripped the steering wheel, the city's neon lights blurring as he drove back to his mansion, their faces burned into his memory. How had he been so blind? What would this truth cost? The night marked a fracture in his empire, the first thread in a story that would unravel his life. Maya's secret wasn't just personal, it was a grenade, primed to explode his legacy. Caldwell Tech, built on precision and control, now teetered on the edge of his ignorance. The boy's laughter echoed in his mind, a haunting reminder of a bond he'd severed without a second thought. Back in his mansion, the silence was suffocating, the opulence mocking his unease. Ethan poured a whiskey, his hands unsteady, replaying the moment he saw his sons. He'd misjudged Maya, underestimated her strength, her resolve. The cufflinks were irrelevant now. The real theft was his blindness, robbing him of years with his children. This wasn't a simple mistake, it was a reckoning, one that would ripple through his empire, his reputation, his very identity. Maya's life, hidden in Oakland's shadows, held a power he couldn't dismiss, a truth that threatened to upend everything he'd built. The storm was brewing, and for the first time, Ethan felt its weight, a looming threat to his carefully constructed world. His arrogance had betrayed him, and the truth, now awake, would not stay silent. Its echoes promising a confrontation he could not escape. 15 years earlier, Maya Johnson was a radiant force at UC Berkeley, her scholarship a hard-won lifeline from Oakland's rough streets. Her coding skills dazzled, her dreams of revolutionizing tech boundless and fierce. At a Silicon Valley conference, Ethan Caldwell's charisma swept her into a whirlwind romance. Their late-night coding sessions, filled with laughter and shared ambitions, felt like destiny, his promises of a startup together igniting her heart. But when Maya, trembling with vulnerability, revealed her pregnancy in his sleek financial district penthouse, Ethan's warmth turned to ice. He paced the polished floor, his eyes cold as granite. "You're a liability, Maya," he said. His voice sharp, cutting through her hopes. "An Oakland girl doesn't belong in my world." The words sliced her heart, each syllable a betrayal of their shared dreams, a dagger to her trust. He slid a check across the glass table, $150,000, a cold transaction to fix it and vanish from his life. Tears stung her eyes, but defiance surged within her. "You'll regret this," she whispered, her voice quivering as she tore the check to pieces, the scraps falling like her shattered dreams. Ethan's laugh was venomous, a cruel dismissal. "You're nothing without me," he sneered, his words a whip lashing her pride. Cast out, Maya stood on San Francisco's rain-soaked streets, her suitcase heavy with rejection, the city's glittering lights mocking her pain. The skyline, once a symbol of possibility, now loomed as a fortress for those Ethan deemed worthy. She boarded a bus to Oakland, her Aunt Clara's modest apartment her only refuge. The hum of the engine a grim soundtrack to her fall. The betrayal seared, a wound deeper than she'd imagined, but the lives growing inside her triplets, she'd later learned sparked a fierce resolve. She wouldn't beg for his crumbs. She'd forge a future for her children, free from Ethan's shadow. In Clara's cramped spare room, surrounded by peeling wallpaper and the faint buzz of a space heater, Maya made a vow under her breath. She'd prove him wrong, not for revenge, but for her dignity, for the son she carried. His dismissal replayed in her mind, each sneer a spark in her forge, fueling her determination. Their late-night talks, his promises of a shared empire, were exposed as lies, hollow as his heart. Her scholarship, her talent, her love, reduced to nothing in his elitist gaze. But Maya was more than his judgment. She clutched her cracked laptop, its dim screen a mirror of her fractured dreams, and began coding again, her fingers trembling with purpose. The bus ride to Oakland had been a descent into darkness, but it was also a rebirth, a chance to rebuild. She'd rise, not for Ethan, but for herself and her unborn sons. The betrayal fueled her, each memory of his cold eyes a push to fight harder. She mapped her path: freelance gigs, night classes, survival by any means. Ethan's world of glass towers and power plays was behind her, a closed door she'd never knock on again. Ahead lay struggle, but also possibility, a chance to redefine her worth. Her children would know a mother who fought, who turned pain into strength. That night, as rain tapped Clara's window, Maya planned her comeback, her heart heavy but her spirit unyielding. The tech world might see her as nothing, but she'd show them she was everything, a force they couldn't ignore. Unbeknownst to her, this moment planted the seeds of an empire, one that would one day eclipse Ethan's, a testament to her relentless will. The pain of that night, raw and unforgiving, became the foundation of her ascent. A story destined to echo far beyond Oakland's shadowed streets. Maya's world collapsed into Clara's cramped Oakland apartment. The weight of her triplet pregnancy, a relentless pressure bearing down on her. Her tech job at a startup vanished overnight. Ethan's influence poisoned her reputation, whispers branding her a liability in Silicon Valley's cutthroat circles. With no savings, she took a waitressing job at Sonny's Diner, her feet throbbing in secondhand sneakers. The ache a constant reminder of her fall. Morning sickness clawed at her, a merciless companion, but she forced smiles, pouring coffee for regulars whose pitying glances stung her pride. At night, she coded on a borrowed laptop, its flickering screen her only light in the darkness, her eyes burning from exhaustion, fingers trembling over keys. Bills piled high on Clara's wobbly kitchen table. Her aunt's Social Security barely covering rent and utilities in their modest home. Maya's pride held despair at bay. Her unborn children deserved a future she'd claw her way to provide. She scraped by on freelance gigs, $12 an hour for data entry, painstaking work that paid for sparse clinic visits. The community clinic's outdated ultrasound revealed triplets, a revelation that nearly shattered her fragile resolve. 3 heartbeats, Dr. Lee said, her smile kind but blind to Maya's panic. How could she provide for 3 babies? Her hands shook. But each kick in her womb steeled her determination. She worked double shifts at the diner, ignoring the grease-stained floors and whispers of poor single mom from coworkers and patrons alike. Clara's late-night talks, her warm hugs over cups of chamomile tea, anchored Maya in the storm. "You're a warrior, child," Clara said, her voice firm with faith. Maya clung to those words, her coding skills sharpening with every sleepless night, each line of code a small rebellion against her circumstances. She built a budgeting app for single parents, coding between shifts. It's $500 in first-month downloads, a fragile lifeline. The diner's chaos, clattering dishes, demanding customers, and the quiet logic of code became her battleground, a dual existence of grit and hope. She studied AI algorithms online, her mind racing with possibilities despite her body's exhaustion. Rejection emails from tech firms landed like blows, each one a reminder of her tainted name. But she pressed on, her son's future her guiding star. Clara watched, worry etching deep lines in her face, but Maya refused to break. "They'll have more than I did," she vowed, wiping sweat from her brow after a 12-hour shift. The clinic's warnings, high-risk pregnancy, nutritional needs she couldn't afford, loomed large, but she bartered coding for groceries. Traded skills for diapers, her resourcefulness a shield against despair. Her app gained traction, featured in a local blog, earning a $1,000 grant from a community fund. It wasn't much, but it was a spark of hope, a sign she could climb out. She saved every penny, dreaming of a tech comeback, a life beyond the diner's fluorescent glare. The nights were brutal, her body aching. Her mind stretched thin, but her spirit remained unyielding. She mastered Python, her code cleaner with each project, her confidence growing. Diner regulars began asking about her app, their curiosity a small validation of her talent. Maya's resolve hardened. She wasn't just surviving. She was building something real. Her sons, still unborn, were her why. Their heartbeats her rhythm in the chaos. Clara's faith, the app's slow growth, the promise of code, they fueled her fire. She coded through nausea, her belly heavy, her dreams heavier still. The tech world's rejection lingered like a shadow, but she turned it into fuel, each shift and line of code a step toward a future where her sons would thrive. She wasn't the nothing Ethan had claimed. She was a creator, a fighter, a mother. Maya's struggle was her forge, each hardship a brick in the foundation of an empire she couldn't yet see. A testament to her unbreakable will. As Maya's pregnancy swelled, the tech community she'd once dreamed of joining turned its back with ruthless efficiency. At a Berkeley networking event, she overheard colleagues whispering behind their wine glasses, "She's the one who got tangled with Caldwell." Invitations to hackathons and coding meetups vanished, her resume sinking into a void of unanswered emails. The rejection cut deeper than Ethan's betrayal, a wound inflicted by a world she'd trusted to value talent over gossip. Her temp job at a startup ended abruptly. Her supervisor mumbled about client concerns, a thinly veiled nod to Ethan's lingering influence in Silicon Valley's elite circles. Maya felt like a pariah. Her skills dismissed because of her past, her dreams mocked by those who'd once praised her code. In Oakland, even neighbors gossiped, their eyes narrowing at her fancy ex. Their whispers a constant hum of judgment. The isolation was a suffocating fog, threatening to swallow her whole. But Maya channeled her pain into action, her anger a spark for defiance. She joined a local coding boot camp, bartering her growing skills for free classes, her determination a currency no one could take. There, she found allies, single moms, immigrants, dreamers like her, each fighting their own battles against a world that doubted them. They shared snippets of code, job leads, and quiet hope, forming a makeshift family in a community that had shunned her. Still, the financial strain was crushing, relentless. Her diner shifts at Sunny's barely covered formula, and freelance gigs were maddeningly sporadic. Each payment a lifeline for diapers and prenatal vitamins. One night, coding a website for a local bakery, she saw her worth reflected in the clean lines of her work. "I'm not invisible," she muttered, her fingers flying across the keyboard, her resolve hardening. The community's rejection fueled her fire. She'd carve her own path, no matter the cost. The bootcamp instructors praised her knack for AI, her prototype education app sparking quiet excitement among peers. But the whispers persisted. A former colleague, now at a rival firm, spread rumors that her app was a fluke, her skills untested, her story a liability. The betrayal stung, a fresh wound, but Maya pressed on, her son's future her unyielding anchor. She pitched her app to local startups, facing smirks and raised eyebrows. No degree, no network. One investor scoffed, his tone dripping with condescension. But a community center took a chance. Using her app for after-school programs, its success, 100 users in a month, lighting a spark of hope. Maya's nights grew longer, coding between diner shifts, her body aching but her spirit fierce. Unbowed, Clara's words echoed in her mind. "They can't take your mind, child." She nodded, her resolve ironclad, her focus razor-sharp. The tech world's elitism, its cold dismissal, only sharpened her edge. She dove into machine learning tutorials, her code evolving with her anger, each algorithm a rebellion against those who'd written her off. Oakland streets, once a refuge, now felt like a battleground. Neighbors' pity slowly turning to curiosity as her app spread. She bartered coding for childcare, building a network of underdogs who believed in her vision. The rejection had isolated her, but it also revealed her strength. She wasn't just a discarded lover or a struggling mom. She was a creator, a force. Each no from tech firms became a brick in her foundation, each smirk a challenge she'd overcome. Her app doubled its users, her name whispered in small but growing circles. She wasn't invisible anymore. The community that had shunned her would soon see her rise, a phoenix forged in their disdain, her talent a flame they couldn't extinguish. She faced rejection letters with defiance, her belly heavy with triplets, her dreams heavier still. The bootcamp's instructors mentored her, their belief a lifeline in the storm. She coded through exhaustion, her app's growth a quiet rebellion against a world that doubted her. Oakland's underdogs rallied, sharing her story, their pride a shield. Maya's talent, once dismissed, was now a weapon, her rise a tide that would sweep away the tech world's prejudice. Maya's determination bore fruit in quiet, hard-won victories that lit the path forward. Her budgeting app, coded in stolen moments, earned $2,000 in 6 months, enough to buy a used laptop, its keys worn but hers to command. She juggled diner shifts at Sunny's and freelance coding gigs, her triplets, Malik, Marcus, and Miles, toddling around Clara's cramped Oakland apartment, their laughter her fuel. Sleepless nights became her norm, coding while they slept. Her eyes gritty from exhaustion, but her focus unrelenting. Clara watched them during her shifts, her love a steady anchor in the storm of survival. Maya enrolled in online AI courses, mastering neural networks between diaper changes and diner chaos, her skills sharpening with every line of code. Her ambition was relentless, a fire that refused to dim. By year 5, she co-founded Horizon Innovations, an AI startup focused on accessible education tools, a dream born from her own struggles. Investors scoffed at her lack of credentials. A waitress with a tech dream? One sneered. But Maya's pitches were fierce, her demos flawless, her passion undeniable. A local venture capitalist, moved by her grit, invested $100,000, and Horizon's first product, an AI tutoring app, exploded, reaching 10,000 Bay Area students in its first year. By year 10, Horizon was a Silicon Valley powerhouse, valued at $1 billion, employing 500, its mission reshaping education. Maya graced the covers of tech magazines. Her story of single motherhood and resilience a sensation that echoed globally. Her sons, now tech-savvy teens, tested her apps, their bond unbreakable, their pride in her palpable. She shielded them from Ethan's identity, protecting their hearts from his betrayal. Her success was a defiance of every door slammed in her face, every whisper that called her nothing. The diner's grease and chaos faded, replaced by boardroom polish. but her Oakland core remained unyielding. She mentored single mothers, her story a beacon for those fighting similar battles. Horizon's growth drew enemies. Rivals whispered of her lucky break, their envy palpable, but Maya ignored them, her focus on scaling her vision. Her sons called her the boss, their pride her greatest reward. She bought Clara a new home, a thank you for her unwavering support through the darkest years. The tech world, once cruel, now courted her. But she never forgot its rejection, its elitism. Her keynote at a Stanford conference drew thousands, her voice commanding as she declared, "Resilience isn't luck, it's work." The applause was deafening, but her mind drifted to her boys, her true legacy. Horizon's valuation soared to $5 billion, its AI tools reaching schools worldwide, empowering millions. Maya hired her bootcamp allies, building a team of underdogs who shared her fire. The tech elite, once dismissive, now sought her counsel, their invitations a stark contrast to their earlier scorn. Her sons balanced school and Horizon internships, their mother's lessons their guide: work hard, stay humble, rise above. She funded coding programs in Oakland, her influence growing, her roots deep. Nights once spent scraping by now shaped global education, her app reaching 50,000 users, its impact undeniable. Rivals' jabs only sharpened her focus, their doubts fuel for her fire. She faced boardroom battles with the same grit as diner shifts, her vision unyielding, her purpose clear. Horizon's next product, an AI platform for underserved schools, was her dream realized. A testament to her journey. As her name grew, whispers of her past surfaced, Ethan's shadow looming faintly. Maya sensed the reckoning approaching, but her sons were her strength, their bond her fortress. She taught them resilience, not revenge, their laughter echoing the joy of Clara's old apartment. Her rise wasn't just professional, it was a middle finger to Ethan's dismissal, a blazing proof of her worth. The tech world watched, some in awe, others in fear, as Maya's empire, built on sweat and code, became unstoppable. Her journey, from rejection to triumph, was a beacon for dreamers, a promise that grit could rewrite any story, no matter how broken its beginning. Malik, Marcus, and Miles, Maya's 15-year-old triplets, were coding prodigies, their skills rivaling Silicon Valley's brightest minds. One night, debugging Horizon's latest AI in their Oakland home, Malik stumbled on an old email buried in Maya's cloud, mentioning Ethan Caldwell. Curiosity sparked like wildfire, and he dove into news archives, tech forums, and public records. His brothers joining the hunt. The truth unraveled with brutal clarity. Ethan was their father, the man who'd abandoned their mother, pregnant and penniless, 15 years ago. The revelation hit like a thunderclap, their faces a mix of fury and hurt as they confronted Maya at their worn kitchen table. "Why didn't you tell us?" Marcus demanded, his voice sharp, eyes blazing with betrayal. Maya's heart ached, her voice soft but steady. "I wanted you to grow up proud, not scarred by his rejection," she said, tears welling but her resolve firm. The boys, fiercely loyal, vowed to make Ethan face his shame, their anger a mirror of their mother's long-buried pain. "He called you nothing," Miles said, his jaw tight, his words a vow. They hacked deeper, uncovering Ethan's shady deals, offshore accounts, rigged contracts worth $50 million, hidden from Caldwell Tech's board. Their plan crystallized with ruthless precision. Expose him at the San Francisco Tech Gala, where he'd deliver the keynote address. Maya hesitated, her heart torn. Revenge wasn't her goal, but justice was. Her son's resolve was unyielding, their eyes burning with purpose. "He needs to know we're not invisible," Malik said, his voice steady, a leader's conviction in his young frame. They built a presentation titled Legacy of Resilience, weaving Maya's story of struggle and triumph with damning evidence of Ethan's corruption. Malik coded the visuals, sleek and unforgiving. Marcus dug deeper into Ethan's financial missteps, unearthing emails that exposed his greed. Miles crafted the narrative, his words sharp as a blade. Their bond was ironclad, their anger focused, their teamwork a testament to their mother's strength. Maya watched them, pride swelling alongside dread. This could upend their lives, draw media scrutiny, invite retaliation. Yet, she saw herself in their fire, their refusal to bow. She agreed to their plan, but insisted on control. "We do this my way," she said, her voice firm, a mother and a leader. The gala loomed, a glittering stage for their reckoning. its chandeliers a stark contrast to their Oakland roots. Maya prepared her own speech, a story of resilience forged in pain, while her sons polished their reveal, a digital guillotine ready to drop. They found photos of Ethan's old penthouse, the sterile space where he'd discarded Maya, and paired them with horizon-soaring metrics: $5 billion valuation, 50,000 users, global reach. The contrast was stark, a visual indictment of his cruelty against her triumph. Maya's nerves frayed as the event neared, her mind wrestling with the cost. Would this heal her sons or wound them further? She taught them to channel anger into purpose, just as she had in her darkest days. The boys, mature beyond their years, reassured her. "We're doing this for you, Mom," Miles said, his hand on hers. The gala's date was circled in red, a deadline for justice that pulsed with urgency. They scoured social media, finding Ethan's old posts dismissing nobodies, like Maya, each one fuel for their fire. Maya worried about the fallout, media frenzy, rival attacks, Ethan's wrath, but her sons were fearless. Their code as sharp as their resolve. The presentation was a masterpiece, its data unassailable, its story raw. Malik tested the visuals, Marcus verified the leaks, Miles rehearsed the delivery. Maya saw their strength, her legacy in their eyes, their courage a mirror of her own. The gala spotlight awaited, a platform to expose Ethan's sins and celebrate their triumph. The boys' discovery wasn't just a family secret, it was a weapon, forged in their mother's pain, ready to strike. As they finalized their work, Maya felt the weight of the past lifting, replaced by a fierce pride. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake Silicon Valley to its core. The San Francisco Tech Gala glittered with Silicon Valley's elite, chandeliers casting a golden glow over tailored suits and shimmering gowns. Ethan Caldwell, keynote speaker, stood at the podium, his smile polished but hollow, basking in applause for Caldwell Tech's latest triumph. Maya Johnson, in a sleek emerald gown, sat with her triplets, Malik, Marcus, and Miles, her heart pounding like a war drum. The boys had slipped their presentation, Legacy of Resilience, into the program, a calculated strike. As Ethan's speech ended, boasting of his $20 billion empire, the screen flickered, and Maya's face appeared, her voice commanding the room. 15 years ago, I was discarded, she began, her words steady, slicing through the crowd's murmurs. She narrated her journey, from Ethan's betrayal in his sterile penthouse to her rise as CEO of Horizon Innovations, a $5 billion AI powerhouse. Gasps rippled as the triplets stood, their presence a shockwave. "We're his sons," Malik declared, his voice cutting like a blade. "He called our mother worthless." Slides flashed, Ethan's shady deals, $50 million in offshore accounts, rigged contracts, all exposed by the boys' relentless hacks. The crowd's murmurs turned to outrage, phones recording the unraveling, live streams beaming the moment to millions. Ethan froze, his face ashen, his empire crumbling in real time under the weight of truth. Maya took the mic, her words a searing blade. "I built Horizon for my sons, to show what resilience means," she said, locking eyes with Ethan. "You were wrong. I was never nothing." The room erupted, some standing, others whispering in shock, their applause a thunderclap that shook the gala's opulent walls. Cameras flashed, capturing Ethan's humiliation, his colleagues turning away, their loyalty evaporating like mist. The boys' data was damning, financial leaks, emails proving Ethan's greed, contrasted with Horizon's metrics: 50,000 users, $500 million in contracts, a beacon of integrity. Maya's story wove through it, her Oakland struggles, her coding nights, her triumph over a world that shunned her. The contrast was stark, her integrity a lighthouse against his deceit. Security moved toward Ethan, his exit a walk of shame through a crowd now enthralled by Maya. She embraced her sons, their unity a fortress against the chaos, their faces fierce but composed, their mother's strength in their veins. The gala's host stammered, trying to pivot, but the crowd belonged to Maya, their cheers deafening, a tidal wave of support. Tech moguls approached her, offering partnerships while Ethan's allies slunk into the shadows, their influence gutted. The triplets' reveal wasn't just personal, it was a public execution of Ethan's reputation. A moment that redefined Silicon Valley's power structure. Maya's speech ended with a vow. Horizon isn't a company, it's proof that no one can define your worth. The room shook with applause, a standing ovation that echoed beyond the ballroom. Ethan's keynote, meant to cement his legacy, became his downfall, his name trending for all the wrong reasons. Bloggers and influencers amplified Maya's story, #Maya Rising soaring globally. The boys stood tall, their poise a testament to their mother's lessons, resilience, not revenge. Security escorted Ethan out, his eyes pleading for a moment with Maya, but she turned away, her focus on her sons, her empire, her truth. The gala became a turning point. Maya's name synonymous with courage, her story a case study in triumph. The tech world, once her judge, now crowned her, its power dynamics shifting under her light. Her son's courage. Their hacked truth had flipped the script, exposing Ethan's flaws to a world that no longer revered him. Maya's heart raced, not with vengeance, but with pride, her sons at her side. Their bond unbreakable. The night wasn't just a confrontation, it was a coronation, Maya Johnson rising as Silicon Valley's new queen, her empire built on grit. Her legacy a beacon for all who dared to rise. Dawn broke over San Francisco, and Maya Johnson's story dominated the world's headlines, a seismic shift in the tech landscape. The New York Times splashed her face across its digital front page. From betrayal to billion, Maya Johnson's triumph over adversity. The Wall Street Journal was merciless, Caldwell's collapse. The heirs he lost to hubris. Social media exploded. #Maya Rising trending with 10 million posts by noon. A global wave of awe and outrage. Caldwell tech stock plummeted 30% at market open. Investors fleeing as analysts dissected Ethan's exposed deals. $50 million in offshore accounts. Rigged contracts. All laid bare by the Triplet's relentless hacks. Horizon Innovations. Maya's $5 billion AI empire surged 20%, its tutoring platform hailed as a game-changer, its user base swelling to 75,000 overnight. Former colleagues who'd shunned Maya now sang her praises. Their hypocrisy roasted on X, where users shared memes of Ethan's ashen face at the gala. His third wife, embroiled in a bitter divorce, leaked texts from years ago, showing his disdain for Maya, a nobody from Oakland, further torching his reputation. By midday, Ethan resigned as CEO. His board citing irreparable reputational damage as Caldwell Tech lost $3 billion in value. Maya, in Horizon's Oakland office, declined 30 interview requests. Her focus locked on a $1 billion partnership to bring AI education globally. Her statement was razor-sharp. Horizon builds futures, not grudges. The public crowned her a hero. Her story, a blazing middle finger to Silicon Valley's elitism. Ex-employees from Ethan's old building confirmed Maya's abrupt eviction 15 years ago, their accounts fueling outrage. A Stanford classmate recalled Ethan's dismissive quips about Oakland girls, his arrogance now a public spectacle. CNN dubbed it Silicon Valley's reckoning, a moment where merit trumped privilege. Maya's sons, now viral stars, handled fame with poise, their mother's grace evident in their measured responses to media frenzy. Horizon's valuation hit $6 billion. Its mission resonating with millions, its contracts doubling. Tech forums buzzed, some rivals calling Maya's rise a fluke, but most lauded her grit, her story a case study in resilience. Investment firms courted her, offering billions, while Ethan's allies faced scrutiny for their silence, their careers tainted. The gala's live stream, viewed by 20 million, became a business school staple, dissected for its lessons in hubris and redemption. Maya's speech was quoted in editorials worldwide. Resilience isn't luck, it's work. Oakland rallied. Murals of Maya and her sons appearing on community centers, their faces symbols of hope. She funded scholarships for single mothers, her legacy growing beyond tech. Ethan's Pacific Heights penthouse hit the market, his empire in tatters, his name a cautionary tale. Maya's team prepared for the who deal, her focus unshaken by the chaos. Her sons joined her at community events, their bond a public inspiration, their coding demos drawing crowds. The world saw Maya not as a victim, but as a titan. Her story reframing tech's narrative, merit over privilege, grit over greed. Ethan's downfall was a warning. Arrogance had a price, and he'd paid dearly. Caldwell Tech's board scrambled. But the damage was irreversible, their stock a shadow of its former glory. Maya avoided the spotlight, letting her work speak, her silence louder than any rebuke. The market's response was ruthless. Horizon gained $700 million in contracts, while Caldwell Tech bled value. Her past, once a wound, was now her crown, her triumph a global beacon. She stood with her sons in Oakland, their eyes bright, their future secure. The fallout wasn't just Ethan's. It was a new era, where resilience trumped power, where Maya Johnson redefined success. Her empire a testament to her unbreakable spirit, her story a call to rise for all who'd been cast aside. In Horizon Innovation's sunlit Oakland headquarters, Maya sat with Malik, Marcus, and Miles. The gala's dust settling like ash. "You've always known your father was out there," she said, her voice steady, meeting their identical gazes, each reflecting her own resilience. "His rejection doesn't define us." Malik's anger had softened, replaced by pride in their shared victory, a triumph forged in their mother's pain. Days later, Ethan appeared at Horizon's lobby. Disheveled, his suit crumpled, begging for 5 minutes of Maya's time. The triplet stepped forward, Marcus's voice cold as steel. "Our family values purpose. You have none." Ethan slumped. His plea ignored, his shadow no match for their light. Maya watched, her heart calm. She'd outgrown his influence, her empire a fortress he couldn't breach. Her focus shifted to Horizon's next phase, a $1 billion WHO initiative to bring AI education to underserved communities worldwide, a dream born from her Oakland struggles. Her sons joined Horizon's board, their innovations AI tools for literacy, coded in their teens, pushing the company's valuation to $12 billion. Oakland hailed Maya as a legend. Murals of her and her sons adorning community centers, their faces symbols of hope. She named a tech center after Clara, her aunt's love a cornerstone of her rise. A tribute to the woman who'd held her through the darkest nights. Maya's legacy wasn't just financial. It was a blueprint for resilience, proof that pain could forge greatness. She never spoke of Ethan again, her silence a final rebuke, louder than any words. At a community center opening, the crowd's cheers echoed her triumph, their applause a testament to her journey. Malik coded the center's first app, a literacy tool for kids. Marcus led outreach, his charisma drawing donors. Miles mentored young coders, his patience a mirror of Maya's. Her journey, from diner shifts to global boardrooms, became a global case study, taught in universities from Stanford to Seoul. She declined speaking invites, letting her work speak. Her actions louder than any stage. Horizon's AI tools reached 50 million students, its mission rooted in Maya's struggle, its impact undeniable. She funded coding boot camps across Oakland, hiring her old allies, building a team of dreamers who shared her fire. The tech world, once her enemy, now bowed to her, its elites seeking her counsel, their earlier scorn a distant memory. Her sons, now 16, balanced fame with humility, their mother's lessons their guide. Work hard, stay grounded, rise above. She bought Clara's old apartment, turning it into a shelter for single mothers. A haven for those fighting her old battles. Her story inspired laws for workplace equity, her influence fast but quiet, her inbox flooded with thank yous from students worldwide. Horizon's next goal, a free AI platform for rural schools, kept her up at night, her passion undimmed by success. The gala had been a reckoning, but her legacy was creation, a world reshaped by her vision. She stood with her sons at a scholarship gala, their eyes meeting hers, proud and fierce, their bond unbreakable. Maya's home, a modest Oakland house, remained their sanctuary, filled with laughter and code, a far cry from Ethan's sterile penthouse. She mentored thousands, her story a beacon for the marginalized. Ethan's name faded, his company a footnote, while Horizon soared, its contracts worth $2 billion. Universities quoted her, "Your worth is yours to define." The applause at her UN keynote shook the hall. Her sons beaming beside her. Maya Johnson had rewritten her story, not for Ethan's shame, but for her son's future, for a world that needed her light. Her empire, built on sweat, code, and unyielding grit, stood as proof. No betrayal could stop her, no rejection could dim her flame. Her legacy was a call to rise, a promise that resilience could conquer all. A story that would inspire generations. As Horizon Innovations soared to a $12 billion valuation, a shadow loomed over Maya's empire. Rival tech firms, threatened by her meteoric rise, launched a vicious campaign to dismantle her. Anonymous leaks, traced to a company linked to Ethan's old allies, falsely claimed Horizon's AI tutoring platform leaked user data, sparking a media firestorm that raged across tech blogs and X. Horizon stock wobbled, dropping 10% in a day, a $100 million who contract teetered on the brink, threatening her global education mission. Maya, in her Oakland office, recognized the tactic, smear and destroy, a cruel echo of her early rejections in Silicon Valley. Her sons, now Horizon interns, traced the leaks to a rival's server, their hacks uncovering doctored reports designed to ruin her. "They're scared of you, Mom," Miles said, his eyes fierce with loyalty. Maya rallied her team, working 20-hour days to debunk the lies, her leadership a beacon in the chaos. She hired a top cybersecurity firm, their findings exposing the rival's fabricated data, turning the narrative in her favor. At a televised press conference, Maya stood tall, her voice unwavering, her emerald eyes blazing. "Horizon builds trust, not fiction," she declared, presenting irrefutable evidence of the sabotage, her slides meticulously coded by Malik. The Who recommitted, and Horizon's stock rebounded, soaring 20% in hours, a testament to her integrity. But the attack left scars. Her team was exhausted, their morale shaken, and Maya feared for her son's safety in the spotlight. She installed top-tier security, transforming her office into a fortress. Her vigilance a mother's instinct as much as a CEO's. The boys, undeterred, coded a new AI to detect leaks, their resolve mirroring her own, their innovation a shield against future attacks. The ordeal hardened Horizon's culture. Employees dubbed Maya the Unbreakable, their loyalty fierce. She mentored her sons in crisis leadership, teaching them to turn fear into focus, their bond tightening under pressure. The tech world watched, some rivals doubling down with subtle jabs, others offering partnerships, their motives transparent. Maya ignored both, her focus razor-sharp on her mission. The sabotage, meant to ruin her, backfired spectacularly. Horizon's transparency won global praise, its user base swelling to 100,000. A Wired cover hailed her as tech's titan of truth, her face a symbol of resilience. The rival firm faced lawsuits, its CEO resigning amid public scrutiny, its stock tanking 25%. Maya's team launched a new AI feature, a data protection tool, earning 5 million downloads in a month, a direct rebuke to her enemies. The attack had tested her, but Maya thrived under pressure. Her diner days a lesson in endurance. She trained her staff in resilience, her voice steady as she shared her story of surviving rejection. Oakland rallied, local startups pledging loyalty to Horizon, their support a wall against her rivals. Her sons, now local heroes, spoke at schools, inspiring kids to code, their poise a reflection of Maya's grace. Her inbox overflowed with messages, single moms, coders, dreamers thanking her for standing tall. The sabotage wasn't just a crisis, it was a stage for her strength, a moment that cemented her legend. She funded a cybersecurity scholarship, naming it after her boot camp allies, a nod to the underdogs who lifted her. The tech world's old guard, once dismissive, now feared her, their jabs powerless against her empire. Horizon's valuation hit $15 billion, its mission untouchable, its contracts growing by $1 billion. Maya's nights were spent planning, her sons by her side, their ideas sparking new products. The attack had aimed to break her, but it forged her legacy, proving her resilience was ironclad. She stood with her sons at a tech summit, their faces on every screen. Their story a warning to rivals, targeting Maya only amplified her power. Her journey, from rejection to triumph, became a blueprint for survival, a proof that no lie could dim her truth. Maya Johnson's saga is a blazing testament to the power of resilience and integrity in the face of betrayal and prejudice. Discarded by Ethan Caldwell, deemed unworthy by a ruthless tech world, she built a $15 billion empire through unrelenting grit, proving that adversity, though crushing, can fuel greatness when met with unyielding resolve. Her journey, from a scorned housekeeper to Silicon Valley's titan, shows that self-worth is yours to claim, not others to grant. Maya's refusal to let rejection define her, her fierce love for her sons, and her tireless work ethic turned pain into power, a beacon for anyone facing their own battles. No barrier, poverty, isolation, sabotage could stop her, because she believed in her value and forged her own path. Her story teaches us that resilience isn't a gift, it's a choice, a fire you stoke through every setback. You can rise above any slight, any system, by holding fast to purpose and integrity. Your worth is not in others' eyes, but in your actions, your courage, your refusal to bow. So, what's your story of overcoming hardship? Have you faced rejection and turned it into strength? Share it in the comments below. Your journey could light a spark for someone lost in their own darkness. Subscribe to hear more tales of triumph. And join a community that lifts each other up, proving no obstacle is too big when we dare to fight. Hit that button and keep the conversation alive. Your voice matters.